Andy, first of all, how did you feel taking on this dramatic role? Because we're all used to seeing your comedy stuff, but you really smashed this out of the park. So how was that for you? Yeah, getting into that.
Oh, well, thanks. I was a little nervous about it for sure, especially once I realized who else was in the cast.
I am quite intimidating.
He's quite intimidating, not just in stature.
Yeah.
But, and Marion and Kate, obviously, it was like, uh-oh. But, Kate helped me through it. She helped me prep. She gave me a lot of back information about David Sherman and Lee and their whole situation. And, I tried to prepare for it and treat it the way that people who do dramas treat their work. And I found that quite helpful, actually. It's a completely different direction to approach acting from, and it was interesting and challenging, and I was relieved that I felt like they took good care of me.
Alex, I feel like it was really interesting seeing Roland and Lee's relationship play out, especially, with her being away and him being at home and his work on the camouflage and things. And how was it for you working with Kate to explore that relationship and the specifics of it?
Yeah, I think it was very difficult for Roland because, and in a way, we experience Lee through Roland's eyes and through his love for her. Because we can see when we first meet them, it's romantic, it's South of France, and it's passionate and beautiful. And in Hitler, it's the end of the 30s, and it's just it's looming there in the background, but they discuss it, and some of them think it's just like this crazy guy. It's gonna be by next fall he'll be out of the picture, and some of them a bit more concerned, but they're enjoying themselves. It's to go from there to when they're back in London, and when Lee is adamant about going into the theater of war. Roland is very concerned. He loves her so much and worships her, and knows that it creates friction within Roland, I think, because he knows that this is something that she has to do, but it will come at a great price, a great cost to her and their relationship. And when she comes back, she is traumatized by what she experienced and has and suffers from that for the rest of her life. And it was really interesting to try to kind of get through to Lee and get her home to save her and to save them. But it was impossible because she felt the need to give a voice to the voiceless and go back in there and basically risk herself and sacrifice herself for that, which is beautiful, but also heartbreaking for Roland, I think.
Yeah, it's a really interesting relationship, so thank you. And just quickly, Andy, I wanted to ask you about the sets and the props that you work with, particularly the cameras. How was it for you, being in that world and working with those props?
It was fun. My father's a photographer, and he said to me when I told him I was doing the movie, just don't get the camera stuff wrong, because it drives him crazy. That he said all the time you watch a movie and there's a photographer and they're like moving the camera around while they're clicking. He's like, you would never do that. So it was fun making sure I got it right. I worked with the camera a bunch before we shot. And it's an old, persnickety camera. So it was definitely, Kate's was much more difficult. So I actually considered myself lucky, but it was fun to go back and sort of play around with the old tech.